Tonight we're talking about grind for 5, live on your terms. Because if you put work and dedicate 5 good years working your butt off, you'll work. You can really much decide and write and have a lot of options in your life. Whether that's freedom to you, whether that's, hey, I'm just going to quit my job, or I'm going to work less, or I want to travel more, or I want to sit on the beach and work. Whatever that is to you, because everyone's different, you can do it. And we did it 2 different ways. And that's what we're here to talk about tonight, okay? So I'm going to step down, and Jim's going to go through his thing for a little bit, and he's going to call me up because it was about the only way, I think, to make this work. So, Mr. Jim.
Awesome. So, first of all, guys, I'm a mess, in the sense that it's very hard to stay focused for me. I figured this out a long time ago, though. And this is why I set up my business the way I did. It's funny when I'm under pressure and things really hurt. I love going to Evan and hearing about the structure of his deals. But then when I'm really rolling the dice and really going for it and gambling, I look at his business and I'm like, oh, geez, I could never do it. So it's a really nice trade-off. But I don't want you to think that this 5-year grind is just something I just started yesterday. So I've been working for 40 years. I'm 62 years old. I started in residential construction, moved to commercial construction. I did business-to-business sales where I did like a structured training. I actually learned how to sell features, benefits, these type of things. Second mortgage loan originator I was. I was so good at that. The first mortgager guy called me. I failed miserably at that because I'm horrible following up. I'm horrible, keeping my pipeline in good shape. From there, I moved to high volume, like new home sales back in the early 2000s, selling hundreds of homes. And it's really where I got all of my experience working with people like you. I'm talking about professionals that know what they're doing, that they that's when I learned how to report to a C-suite, the VP of or the director of, and this type of exacting one time I got fired because 12 of the deals canceled on the last day of the quarter, and all of the big wigs lost all their bonuses. So guess what? Jim Keller learned a big lesson there. So from there, I went in after the new home sales gig was eliminated in 2008. And it was retail real estate, and I really was just I was really just trying to make it work. And then one day I saw a house that I sold that I think I netted about $3,500, and the flipper made $100,000, and I was like, hey, I can't do this anymore. So boom, that's how I got started, and really from there. So I control the Keller organization right now. It's an S corporation, and why an S corporation is important to me because I buy and sell properties. I don't really hold that many properties in the S corp. My wife and I operate a private 501c3 foundation along with our 2 other public charities that I'm just the agent for. I'm the CEO of them, and we buy properties at the auction and either sell them or rent them to folks. Let's see here. So I'm talking about really. I didn't really succeed in the second mortgage industry. I mean, I supported my family, but what I really learned is about the wholesale rate sheet. I understood how money was bought and sold. Okay, and that was a real benefit for me back then. I went on to do the first mortgage. Like I said, I kind of failed there. It's the new home sales was really the good thing that happened to me. And I'm giving you guys all of this background because I just need you to know it's the grind that we're talking about. I'm talking that Evan was talking about that is available to all of you. So some of you are making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, but I'm here to tell you, $1 million, $2 million, $5 million is available to you. Really, it's the limit is between your ears. It's the person in the mirror is my worst enemy. Okay, and I learned all of that in the years and years and years it took for me to get through all this history here. Okay, so the grind begins here. I got this I went out and I got education. So Rich the training that Rich offers here in this building, I'm really not selling it for him right now. I'm just telling you guys right now, you're foolish if you don't take 100% advantage. This is part of your 5-year grind, is getting like a year or so under your belt of really coming to everything here. So I did a 3-day Bruce Norris boot camp, and I still use what I learned. That was 2011, I think it was. I still learned that. I still use that today when I was working on a property today. I used it. So this, listen, guys. This is like maybe you're rolling your eyes at this next slide, okay? But you are the 5 people you hang out with the most. So I don't know who that is. But if I were you, I'd make a list. And I would make, this is who I hang out with, this is who I want to hang out with, this is who I don't want to hang out with. And I don't mean to be so transactional with people, but it's just a choice you have to make, okay? So what I've figured out is when I'm here at the club, I'm either finding new deals, finding money, finding a new way to do a technique, escrow, title, whoever that is. If I don't know how to write a contract, I'm talking to someone in the room that knows how to write a contract. If I'm looking, if I've got nothing going on, which I got a friend of mine that came in today, he's not doing a lot of, doesn't have 25 deals that he can go out and show off. But what I'm going to ask him to do is to find someone in the room that he can go to their property and get an inspection of it and run the numbers yourself as you're saying to yourself, oh, is this real or not? Okay? And when I say how to fill in the blanks, that's really what this club, I think what this club is all about. And this is the beginning of the grind. And if you're not doing this at every meeting, so for me, the meetings back when I started coming to these meetings, they were once a month. So and they served alcohol. So the meetings would go late. Yeah, the meetings would go late. So I would be here till 2 a.m. We would be kicked out of the place, but I would leave with 20. I mean, I'm an old guy, so it was business cards back then. But I would leave with business cards, and somewhere in my garage, I have an entire massive box filled with business cards because that's the way we did business back then. I would come home. I would be sitting there in my shorts at my computer, banging out, hey, Ramon, it was really great talking to you. I'd really love to buy a wholesale mobile home from you. Hey, Sharon, I love the idea of doing development in the city you were talking about. When can we go out and look at a project? And I would make sometimes 20 emails, and maybe 5 of them were the same kind of deal. Maybe it was like, hey, it was great talking to you. I'd really like to talk to you about how we could make your money go to work. And maybe I sent that to 4 people. I BCC'd 4 different people. But the idea is that I was putting myself in front of them for the next day. And I always knew that I had a good meeting, a good club meeting, when by Friday, 2 days later, I had the entire week booked with, maybe it was Evan coming out to, remember that time we went out to one of the big house I was building in Corona, and we hung out, and and it was fun. It made the deal fun. Or I remember one time I had a young guy who I don't even know who he was because I only saw him one time, but my contractor and I almost got in a fist fight. And we get in the car and he just looked at me like, does that happen all the time? And I'm like, no, it doesn't. But hey, life is good, Anyway, oops. Okay, so it's grind, and grind some more. Okay, tonight set a goal to find a person that will make you 1% better. Did anyone see that AK Anthony Kim on Live Golf? He was a superstar. I think he won the Masters in 2010, and then he got into like cocaine, or he got into something really bad. He's legit, like his face is caved in, like he's a mess of a guy. Okay. But he decided he was going to come back. He had a daughter, and his wife gave birth to his daughter, and he is fighting his way back. And his line is, I just want to get 1% better, okay, every time I'm out on the course. And I'm saying that's a great way to look at it right here, just 1% better, okay? I like the term give and get. It's what I just was saying. If Jeff, if I give you my business card, I expect a business card back from you. And if you don't give it to me, I pull out my phone and I put your name and number in my phone, because it's transactional, and you guys got to see it that way, okay? Well, I love this. This is me right here. The only person that limits me is the one in the mirror. So that's why I love real estate, because what Andy does doesn't mean anything to my business. Okay, now if I want to do business with Andy, certainly the two of us are gonna come together. But it's me that controls where I go. I control my money. I control who I pay. I control who I put time in. And please, it's so important. I go on to talk more about people who know how to work with spreadsheets, access to homes, construction expertise, lawyers, lending. It's all the same information. Okay, so it's a plan you can use. So I'm saying I'm trying to make a point here, guys. So in this particular slide, I'm talking about single-family residence, medium-priced single-family residence. So if you are limited on your cash and you don't want to take on a $2 million loan, you're probably not going to be looking in Laguna Hills. Okay, so I would choose an area. So when I was grinding, you could pretty much choose the interior of Riverside, the city of Riverside, and those houses were selling for $385 or $410, or a real expensive one was $500. And what I do at the meeting is I focus on one discipline. That's a single family home with the medium home price that I'm looking for. Okay, when I find people that I'm making contacts with, I'm asking people for that same thing. I'm looking for a single family home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,350 square feet. I really like 3-bedroom ones, because then I can bootleg a bathroom in there, make it a 3-2, and I make instant money. So I'm thinking that, and I'm talking to people like that all the time. When I'm talking to my contractors, I don't want contractors or building palaces in Laguna Hills. I'm talking to value-minded contractors that understand what or how far $41,000, or nowadays it's $61,000, goes in a remodel project. So it's important to me, guys, that you focus yourself just like that, because it's all part of the grind. Okay, so I was literally at my house, and a friend from my church rolled in. This is like 2012, something like that, 2011, I don't remember. But I had pitched him more times than you can imagine on what it was like to be a real estate investor. I wasn't one, but I pitched him so many times. And in the end, he realized that he shouldn't be owning this property. We made an agreement with one another. He gave me $25,000 of his money. He inherited a lot of money. And I fixed the property. I sold the property. I actually double-ended the sale. Good for me. And I think we made like $34,000 or some crazy number like that. And that's when the lights really went on for me, because that was like 4, 5, 6 transactions. And you know, real estate deals are hard. So I'm saying this because you're going to work your butt off, and you're going to focus on SFRs, or you're going to focus on whatever it is you're focusing on, and it's going to seem a little difficult, but then all of a sudden it's going to start to make sense. And as soon as I did this deal, the world opened up to me. So in year 1, I did 2 deals. Year 2, I did 6 deals. Year 3, I did 12 deals. And I did it by doing exactly what I just told you, meaning when I found the property, I stayed very focused on single-family homes and medium home prices. And guys, it doesn't matter if they're condos, it doesn't matter if they're mobile homes, it doesn't matter if they could be notes. I mean, you can do this in every discipline that's out there, okay? But I still grinded at the meetings. Only now, I was just telling Sharon this, back in the day, and it's sort of like what I see happening here at this club right now, where I saw the advertisement for the Europe cruise, okay? We would get in the car, and 6 of us would go off to the Pasadena meeting, and 6 of us would go over here. And I think I remember seeing you at some of those. Anyway, the point is, it was fun, and I got to meet. Well, actually, I got to meet people that I do business with them now still. Okay, so that's how important this grind is, and you start to get a little success behind you. Okay. Oh, and it's really fun. In year 3, when I would meet people at the club, I would say, "Yeah, let's go. Let's go. I'll pick you up at 8 o'clock on Wednesday. I've got 4 deals I need to see." And we would be in Garden Grove, and we'd drive all the way out to Palm Springs, and we'd end at the one in Redlands, or I mean, whatever, Upland. Okay. And I mean, it was a fun day. It was awesome. 100 miles a day, I used to say. I love it. So. I didn't change this back because I did figure it out. It was 2012 to 2017 for me. It was a 5-year grind. And at the end of that 5 years, I could, I don't want to say I could do whatever I want, but I had a good life at that point in time, okay? So I did all this business in an S corporation, and I'm not going to go into the details of why an S corporation is what you need to have. But if you're actually interested in understanding why is that the case, I'll introduce you to the gentleman that handles all of that for me, and he'll be happy to talk to you. And then as things moved on, we started paying cash for everything we possibly could. I didn't like to get the loans. The loans were expensive. We still had them. There were times when we had 10 or 12 loans out at one time, and it was very expensive. But we were able to save a little bit of cash. We bought a 2-unit building. We turned into a 4-unit building. We developed a property in Corona. You guys have seen it. I've showed it off a few times, where it was a small house that we got rid of right away, and then we turned it into a big home that we sold and made a bunch of money on. And really, that would have been like at the beginning of COVID for me when that big sale happened, and really, that's when this new life, like what we're talking about, where I was able to take this money, and I was able to take a portion of it off the table, and I invested in a product that keeps my wife and I very safe, and we make a good return on that money, and I like it because it's completely separate from real estate. It has nothing to do with that part of it, and then I started actually doing loans, meaning I was the lender for a foundation, and I learned how to put together a foundation. I learned how to work through the charities, and that's really what I do right now. Is I have a large trustee investment with my foundation, and my foundation operates as a bank, and my foundation funds purchases we make with the charities. And all the charities, which I'm the agent for both of them, and my wife and I are the agent for the foundation. All of those positions are paid positions. We don't make it, we don't make a lot of money. We don't need a lot of money, but it works out very well for us. So, what I wanted to get across to all of you right now is that I used that money that we made. Okay, I didn't have. You'll talk to people that have 30, 40 properties that they own, and I'm sure that's a better way to go.